Morning, even afternoon, we got a banger for y'all today, baby. We got a video from Moist Critical here. Charlie, Moist, whatever you know him as. His YouTube's in the description, but I'm assuming almost all of you know him. If you don't, go sub and watch all of his videos. He's great. This is a video from him that's a little bit older, but something that I didn't actually get to watch. And he basically poses the question, is Twitch in danger of shutting down? This was a very informative video. I'm glad I watched it. I hope y'all enjoyed as much as I did. And when you do, hit the like button, hit the sub button. Most importantly, be sure to tell somebody you love them. All right, I'll catch you in the next one.
Twitch is really going through it right now. They are struggling through a hard time internally. I'm not talking about falling off or anything. They haven't lost their spot at the top of the food chain when it comes to streaming. But internally, it's pure chaos and pandemonium. They've been treading water when it comes to their financials, and it's been getting really bad.
So I just want to say, I saw this. This is an older video from Charlie now. So this is probably, you know, I don't exactly know. Probably a month and a half-ish old. But I saw this and I was very curious to see like what he had to say. Because if I'm honest with you, I don't know. Now that I've been on YouTube, I used to be really plugged into Twitch, obviously, with staff and stuff there. Being on YouTube now solely, I haven't really been. So I'm very curious to see just kind of what...
They just had to announce that they're stopping the Twitch service in South Korea because it's just prohibitively expensive. They also had the huge round of layoffs last year that you might remember.
That I do remember.
Twitch is just generating about as much money as CryptoZoo. $0. In fact, less than $0. It's negative monies. Negative clams are being generated by Twitch, and it seems to just keep getting worse. They just had to announce another wave of layoffs at Twitch with 500 employees losing their jobs.
So this must be around when he made the video.
35% of the Twitch workforce was being laid off, as confirmed by Dan Clancy. And today, Dan Clancy actually did a stream just being fully transparent, going over a lot of things, such as the layoffs, as well as just Twitch not really making money. Again, that's not a secret. We all knew that. That's about as much of a secret as me being short. Like, everyone knows by just taking a look at Twitch and what's been going on. It definitely fucking sucks how many people just lost their jobs in this most recent wave here, and it's even more unfortunate that it's not exclusive to just Twitch here. This has become extremely common in the tech industry because so many companies like Twitch started overhiring and went through this period of overgrowth, especially during COVID. And now all at once they're starting to downsize and lay off a ton of people like what they just did. And that's something Dan also talks about.
That we've implied this before, where we say we need to run it sustainably, but you know, I'll be blunt. We aren't profitable at this point. Amazon has been extremely supportive of Twitch. And a big thing for being sustainable over time is ensuring that we don't lose money.
You know, I do have to say, and just pause here for 1 second. Ever since Dan Clancy has taken over, I feel like, how would I say this? The vibe of Twitch is better. I don't know if that makes sense. Prior to Dan, I feel like there was just, to be honest, almost zero communication. It feels like Dan is doing a very good job of trying to be as open as he can and talking about problems, be, you know, positive, negative, stuff like that. So I will, you know, hats off to Dan for that.
That's a big part of my job because that's going to be what makes sure we can be here for long term.
This is the CEO of Twitch who is just speaking openly and honestly about what's going on, which is really refreshing, especially given the last CEO who didn't even know that he ran Twitch. Again, this isn't a shocking revelation. I don't think anyone heard this and flew back in their chair and slapped their knee like, well, golly, Twitch not being profitable, never saw that coming. This is the worst kept secret since Darth Vader being Luke Skywalker's father, right? Everyone knew it wasn't making money, and Dan is now just finally saying that out loud and then going over how he plans to fix that. Before going too deep into this subject I want to talk about, I just want to give a round of applause to Dan here. He really does seem like he cares. He's constantly streaming on Twitch and interacting with the community, like he plays games with other streamers all the time. When the announcement came with the layoffs, he wanted to go live and just directly answer questions about it and talk transparently about it. So honestly, it's appreciated that he'll do something like this.
And that's kind of what I was saying when I paused.
He does say something that I had to raise my eyebrow at. And if this was an NFL game and I was a coach, I'd probably be throwing a challenge.
I can't raise my eyebrows individually, bro. That's actually impressive.
Flag on the play. He says that Amazon has been super supportive of Twitch. And to that I have to say, are you sure? This is maybe some kind of hostage situation? Is Jeff Bezos just off camera with a baseball bat with nails through it, threatening you to say things like that? One of the major criticisms a lot of people, myself included, have stated is that Amazon seems really hands-off with Twitch as a product.
I agree with that
For the
too.
entire time it's owned it, it hasn't really done too much to try and elevate it, improve it, fix things when things are broken, or really much of anything at all.
Just as someone that obviously has streamed on Twitch for quite some time, years, when Amazon bought Twitch, there was just a general shift. You could feel it. The easiest way I could put it, when Amazon did not own Twitch, it felt very community-based, and it felt like you knew everyone there, and it kind of had that community vibe. And when Amazon bought it, it just felt corporate. Easiest way I can explain it. Even as a streamer, I don't know about y'all as, you know, either streamers and or viewers, but like that's just something I noticed as a streamer on Twitch when that whole transaction happened.
I think the major contribution that
I very
the
much
public
agree
can
that I
point
think
to
they're
when
very
it comes to
hands-off.
Twitch and Amazon working together is Amazon offering the Twitch Prime subs, which is a huge component to Twitch, of course. It is a very big deal. But aside from that, there haven't been too many things that Amazon has done for Twitch, at least in what I've seen and what most people have seen. But with the way Dan talks about it throughout this stream, it does seem like Amazon might be significantly more supportive behind closed doors than any of us could possibly ever know.
Yeah.
But I did just want to say, like, hearing him really sing the praises of Amazon as a partner was a little surprising for sure, given how little we see with Amazon interacting with Twitch. And speaking of Twitch Primes, I'm going to have to take a little victory lap here and say I told you so. For about 2 years now, I've speculated that Twitch Primes might vanish, at least in their current format. For those that don't know, Twitch Prime is a service offered on the platform where
I mean, they must be losing so much money on
sub
that.
to a
Twitch
streamer
or
completely
Amazon.
for free as long as you have your Prime sub available, and that streamer gets $5 from Twitch. Well, $2.50 from Twitch.
Split.
For free. All you do is take your Twitch Prime and use it on a streamer. $0 to you, and that streamer gets money from Twitch. I believe that they're just praying, fingers crossed every day, that you forget to use your Prime sub, because when you remember to, you're just costing the company money. And I've said for 2 years, since the holes in the ship started to show, that that's probably going to be one of the major things that they change. If they don't outright get rid of it, they're going to do some kind of drastic overhaul. And
I do think before he talks about it, I think they do change it. I think I heard about that, and I'm sure he's going to tell me here. But if I know right, it's like basically less money overall now, I think. Because that has to be something that's, I'm not a businessman, right? But that has to be something that's bleeding
the way it
money for
currently
them.
is, because that is something that is not sustainable to a business that already isn't profitable. And Dan Clancy talks about that.
Prime is a critical program for many streamers. We've already been looking across the company in terms of how to set us up for the long term. I think we will continue to evolve different aspects of our program, because part of what I'm trying to do is get us into a framework that can live over a long time. The size of the company is one of those things that gets us to the right size for the longer period of time. When we did Partner Plus, we structured that so that we could continue to move that threshold. We're going to keep looking across our strategy with streamers. We did this with the Ads Incentive Program. We want to get to where we can continue to grow and adapt and change as the market changes. And so there may be other changes, but I will tell you, Prime is an important part for our viewers and our creators. So it's important for us to make sure Prime still exists in some way.
It's not a direct answer.
Prime, like the amount of subscribers you can get on Prime, no matter like the size of the streamer, if you're a large streamer or a small streamer, like it's very supportive to the streamer, but obviously Twitch and Amazon are probably losing a lot of money. So like I said, I don't know if anything changed there, but I've always thought kind of what Charlie's saying, just like that's gotta be just burning money for them. So, and like I said, I haven't seen this, so I don't know if something changed.
Answer to the question of if the free benefit to Twitch Primes is disappearing. But I think it's pretty clear with the way he answers it and tiptoes around it, beats around the bush a little bit, that he recognizes the severity of having to change that, but knows that he needs to change it. So the way that he kind of talks around the subject makes it clear that there is change coming. As he's talking about needing to come up with new strategies and everything, I think we can all say with a high level of confidence that the free benefit to the Twitch Primes is going to be an ancient relic of the forgotten past. In 50 years, you'll tell your grandkids there used to be a way to sub to your favorite streamer for free. And they'll call you crazy and tell you to take your medicine and go back to Arkham Asylum, you old geezer. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, it seems. Now, this is a big I told you so moment for me because like I said, I was beating the drum saying, hey, Twitch Primes probably aren't going to last forever. Hey, like a doomsday prepper kind of thing. And it looks like that day is coming up sooner than I thought it would, to be honest. But we still don't know exactly what's going to change about it.
Wait, has anything changed since he recorded this video? They added a fixed payout for Prime. Okay. They changed the 100K cap for 70-30. Okay. And added a fixed payout for Prime subs, 225 instead of 250 and 350 for the 70-30. So they made it a fixed. Okay. So that's since Charlie recorded this.
I had to look into my crystal ball.
I mean, so they're still free, right? You still get money.
To keep the Prime program around.
I'm actually surprised by that.
A diet version of it, a bootleg, watered down version.
That's exactly
of the
what they did.
Twitch Prime service
Charlie,
that we know and love currently. I think that it'll probably end up being more of like a discount code situation where if you have a Prime available once a month, you can sub to your favorite streamer for half off. So instead of costing you $5 to sub to your favorite streamer, it'll cost you $250. And then they get the $250, the streamer you sub to.
It's just
I think that's probably how it'll work. So it'll no longer be free, but it'll be a
for
discount on a sub. So like 50% or maybe even less. I really have no idea. But that's kind of how I envision this.
So basically, streamers get less money since he recorded this. And like I said, I just wanted to watch this video because I didn't really know a ton about it. I didn't know that happened with Prime either. So it's still free, but it is watered down. But the streamer still gets money.
In the future.
Surprising.
They're not going to outright get rid of it, I don't think. It'll likely be in that manner. So we'll see. We'll see if I go 2 for 2 on the Twitch Prime, boogeyman predictions here. But anyway, Dan Clancy also just directly answered a question a viewer asked about, is Twitch at risk of just getting the axe from Amazon? And he said emphatically no, and that Amazon is very much in this race. They are heavily invested in this, and there's no chance really that Twitch just crumbles and goes under or anything at the moment. They're going through this turbulent period internally, but he is optimistic that things will look up in the future for it, and he has some ideas on where to take things, and well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. But it really was an insightful live stream. Again, I haven't really seen a CEO be this transparent. I expected he'd only be answering heavily curated comments, but he doesn't just answer only softballs. There were a couple he answered that I thought for sure he would avoid and shy away from, such as, is it true some of the employees that were laid off found out they no longer had a job through social media as opposed to through you guys? But he actually did answer it. That and a couple other questions that I thought for sure would not be addressed at all. So overall, I do think that was a pretty cool gesture from him, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see how things start to pan out for Twitch going forward. While I don't think Twitch is in any danger of being buried 6 feet under immediately, as I've said, I am skeptical that Twitch will be around in a decade. With the direction things have been going, it makes me concerned about the future of Twitch, at least in the capacity that it's currently at. Where other streaming services are growing, Twitch seems to be kind of staying in the same place and then going through more internal struggle. So it makes it seem far more dire as an outsider looking in. But Dan seems to believe that Twitch's best years are ahead of them as opposed to behind them. So perhaps they have like a really good strategy going forward. But just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's it. So yeah.
I love how he ends his videos, bro. That was a very insightful video. I'm glad I watched that. And I think bottom line, I would hate to see Twitch shut down. Like, that is where I started. Even though I'm on YouTube right now, that is where I started streaming, 11 years ago. So it's obviously a large part of my life. And I'd hate to see it gone, man. I hope that doesn't happen. So I hope Dan and the team over there can kind of, make it flourish.